What's up, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Well, it's been a year since our PSVR2 arrived, and I thought I would do a kind of a yearly recap. What was the first year like? And I guess depending on who you ask, some people say great, some people say okay, some people say not so good at all. There's a lot of other reviews out there I've seen pop up from all the big YouTubers that do this kind of professionally, I guess you'd say. And I've purposely not watched them because I wanted to do my own review first and make it to where it was just my untainted thoughts. I didn't want to have any input from anybody else. I want to throw out there what I thought about it right now and kind of give you something to think about if you're thinking about trying to get it. I was a day one guy. Excuse me. I had pre-ordered it and waited with anticipation. You know, it finally arrived. I was at work. I got the notice on my phone and I saw it was here, and I was so excited. And of course, rushed home and immediately threw on. I had the Horizon bundle, so I had to download the game and charge the controller. So I went ahead and played Gran Turismo 7 first. And I have to say, when it first popped me in, and I was sitting in the driver's seat of that Ferrari, and I'm looking around, and the race had started, and I'm looking at the controls, and I'm looking at the scenery and the other cars, and I realized about more than halfway through the first lap that, hey, this is a race, you know, because I was just sightseeing. I was just driving around looking, and I was so amazed at what I was looking at that I was just blown away. And so yeah, I played that for hours, just sitting there, just being amazed at all the different things I was seeing and how clear everything was. And then before I went to bed that night, I played some Horizon, and again, you know, great graphics. Really enjoyed playing that game. It was, you know, kind of short, but still a good game to showcase what the headset's capable of doing. So my first two games, I thought, okay, this is pretty good stuff. But a headset's not going to survive on just two games. You know, it's got to have a continuous influx of new games in order for it to be any good, or otherwise it's going to be it's just going to sit there unused. So I think the next game I played after that, I jumped in and got Resident Evil Village. And that game, if you've never played a Resident Evil game in VR, you need to. It's one thing to be looking at it on a screen from across the room, and you're sitting there trying to, versus being in that environment. It's totally different. Watch one of my other videos that are down here a little further down. Just look at it. I think it's called Resident Evil Village. I think it just says scary. There's a part there with a little baby monsters chasing me around that house, and I think I might peed a little. I mean, it was brutal. But played the game all the way through and had a great time with it. So, you know, like I said, if you haven't ever tried it, try it. It's a lot of fun. I was just going through my library looking at the different games I've played since the headset came out. I did some Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, Retribution, the second one. That was a good game, solid, a lot of fun. Hubris was a good game. Again, a game was kind of short, but the graphics were amazing, and the gameplay and all that was really good. My understanding is I almost bought it for PC when it came out, but I heard that it was kind of just dull and boring, really. That graphics is really all it had going for it. But apparently the developers, when they heard about this, they heard what the people said and did something about it. And when the PSVR2 version came out, they had really made some nice changes to it. So I never played the cruddy version. I only played the good one, and I have to say it was a good game. Hubris is definitely a good game worth checking out. Let's see, I played Synapse. Again, kind of a monochrome color looking thing, but it was a lot of fun. Haptic triggers come in a lot in that game. Where you're picking up stuff and you squeeze the trigger just a little bit, and if you want to crush it, you squeeze it all the way, and it makes really good use of the haptics in the controllers. Let's see, Crossfire Sierra Squad. Played that one for a while. That one, you know, it's kind of more of an arcadey shooter game. You can move around freely, but you have to stay on a certain path. A lot of people compared it to like House of the Dead in VR, and it's kind of probably pretty accurate. but a lot of bullets. I mean, you shoot a lot of bullets in that gun, in that game. So it's fun. It's just fun. It's not really very tactical. It's not, you know, a real thinking game. It's more just shoot everything in sight type game. Now, if you look at my channel at all, you know I'm big on Firewall 0 Hour, when it, you know, the original. So when I knew the new game was coming out, there was not going to be an aim controller anymore. So I started playing Pavlov for a while just to get used to shooting without the aim controller. And that one, you know, I started getting better at it. You know, now I'm decent. You know, I'm not going to set any world records in it, but I've gotten okay with it. But again, Pavlov's good. I've noticed some changes in that game even. I've played it on PlayStation and Quest. Quest seems to me has a bigger player base, so it's, you know, you get more variety of matches and different ones. It seems to me. And then the game I was really waiting for was Firewall Ultra. I'm not going to talk a lot about that game right now because I'm thinking about doing its own video, because Firewall is kind of like I'm a huge Firewall fan, and Ultra to me deserves kind of its own video because it kind of had a rocky launch, but it's been patched up pretty good, even though the developing company went out of business. Sony still owns it, owns the game itself, and the game is very playable. It's a steady game, but I don't want to get the comments will blow up with hate if I go in too far into that one right now. But I will say Firewall Ultra is a good game. It's got great graphics. The guns look good. They sound good. Again, the haptics, it uses all of it. It kind of goes a little overboard with the eye tracking, I think, in that game. But it's something that just takes some getting used to. But again, a great game. Looks good. And then a game I played a little later last fall was Propagation Paradise Hotel. A good game, kind of a horror-based game. Few little puzzles, not a whole lot. Remember, it's just kind of puzzly. You got to find a key. You got to go over here, open this, whip a switch. You know, it's that kind of stuff. It's and then all of a sudden, just stuff jumps out at you when you least expect it, and you're, you know, like I said, you might pee a little. And you're shooting by, you know, it's a cool game, really cool game. And then the most recent game I've been playing is Arizona Sunshine 2. I actually waited on that one to go on sale. I heard it was kind of short for the high price tag. The game was, I don't know if it was $60 when it first came, or $50. I think it was $50 when it came out. And I just heard it was kind of short, and so I didn't really, you know, I'm going to save a few bucks. I don't want to pay top dollar for a shorter game, even though I'm pretty sure they're going to drop more DLC for that game. The first one they did, and it looks like they've already about to drop some more DLC for this one, but it's not campaign based. It's more, I think you get a corgi instead of the German Shepherd dog, and there's some other maps you can play in horde mode now. So they're already updating the game with new content. So, but again, that game looks amazing. It's very satisfying shooting those zombies. When you shoot them in the head, they did a good job with it. It was a good game, very solid. So, all in all, I would say for my first year of having it, well, I even downloaded Beat Saber again too, and played it on the PS5, and to me it seems more robust in the PSVR2. It could be in my imagination, but it does seem to have a little bit more to it. So I think that is all the games I play. As you can see, I play mostly a lot of shooters, besides Gran Turismo. Everything else, you're pretty much trying to kill something before it kills you type games. But that's just what I like, you know. So if you're into other things, I can't really speak on the other games that are available. So I can't really recommend or not recommend anything there. But that's the kind of games I like, and the games that I have downloaded, I have enjoyed. I haven't seen anything bad on it yet. And as far as the headset itself goes, I feel like it's a very quality product, you know. with the foveated rendering that it can do and the eye tracking that it's capable of doing, and if it's utilized properly, it's a good headset. It's a solid headset. Some people would argue it's a little pricey. It could be. I mean, depending on how you look at it. But if you compare it to other tethered systems out there, mainly like say a PSVR, the other headsets that they've been using for years, with the Pimax and the Vibes and all those headsets are always expensive too, even more expensive than the PlayStation one. So when you compare it like that, it's really not expensive, comparatively speaking. So, but the headset itself, it's lightweight. It's not a real heavy headset. You can wear it for a while. I may have to adjust it and watch your forehead here. Every once in a while, my forehead starts to get a little. I have to tell you, give it a break. I've seen some people complain. It seems like I want to say I've heard people talk about, well, my it's blurry. I can't see clearly. What's wrong with it? I've never experienced that. If you're experiencing blurriness with that, and I've seen people complain about it on the Quest as well. A lot of it just has to do with making sure the thing's on your head right. You can't just throw it on. And I mean, you've got to sometimes find that spot and then tighten it down and go. Make sure you adjust your eye adjustments. But other than that, to me, I've never experienced the blurriness issues with either headsets. The controllers themselves, like I said, they're good controllers. With the haptic feedback and everything that they have, it's really adaptive triggers. It's a cool feature. The only complaint I have about the controllers, to me, I have two. One, the battery life seems a little short. You're going to want to make sure you charge them fully before you play, especially if you're planning on being there for a while. If I do that, I have never had them die on me while I was still wanting to play. Now, if I start and I'm got 2 bars of battery instead of the 3, sometimes, I have run them down. So I turned around and I bought these little guys. And these are little extra battery packs. I've got them on Amazon for like $25. I got 2 of them for I think $25. They came as a set. As you can see, gives you a little indicator there, and it's got a Type-C port on it. So what I was doing originally is plugging it directly into the controller, and I would play. And it added a little weight to it. Actually made it feel pretty good. The thing I worried about, though, is if I was playing and I was moving kind of fast, I could feel the thing wiggle a little. And so I worried that this might damage the port to the controller. So what I did do is I bought 2 USB cables that had a female end on this end, so I could plug it in there and then plug the other end into my controller, and then I would just drop this in my pocket, and then I could play freely without having to worry about the weight of this. I mean, they're not real heavy, but still they're heavy enough that, I don't know, I just kind of worried about that port. And one of the main reasons I worry about that port brings me to my second complaint about the controllers, and that is that you cannot buy them by themselves. So if you break a controller and you can't get it repaired for whatever reason, you're out of luck. You're going to have to buy the whole VR system again, $550, just to get that left controller that you broke. To me, I find that I have a lot of problems with that. I think that's not cool at all for Sony to do that. I think they need to... I could see where they wouldn't want to box them up and package them at stores individually, because they're probably not going to sell that many individuals, but I think you should at least have the option to be able to go on to maybe their official store and order a new set of controllers if you needed them without having to buy the headset again. And so maybe eventually they'll do that. As of right now, you cannot. So those are my only real complaints about the headset, plus, I mean, not the headset itself, but about the overall system, the controller issues. But the other thing I kind of had a concern about is I've been just kind of watching Sony over the last year and seeing what are they doing to support this headset. And I've noticed when I watch TV, just chilling out, hanging, watching TV, I see MetaQuest commercials all the time. I have not seen one PSVR2 commercial ever. It's almost like it's just a word of mouth thing. And I felt like if Sony really was into this headset, they would advertise it and push it and try to get more of them sold. I'm not saying they don't support it, because they have. I mean, they built the thing. But I would like to see them really push it and build the player base up, because the more players we have, better games we're going to get, the more games we'll get. So I'd really like to see them push the headset a little bit more and compete with Quest, because right now Quest is dominating sales, and they're beating everybody out. So other than that, I'm not a official spokesman for Sony or a businessman that can tell them how to run their business. But that's just my thought on it, that I'd like to see them do more like Quest. I've even seen a commercial for the Apple Vision Pro. I mean, who's going to buy that thing for $3,500? But I've seen a commercial for it. So, but one thing that Sony has done recently, and this has been like within the last week, that helps me see some positive movement, is that apparently PSVR2 is going to be compatible with PCVR in the near future. So that'll open up a whole new world for people that never got to play any of the PCVR games that are out there, or maybe try to use the new UEVR program that's out there, where you can actually convert flat screen games that use the Unreal Engine into VR. And if you haven't heard of that, just do a YouTube search on UEVR. It's very promising, and I would love to be able to do that. I just haven't really sat down and tried it yet, but it is on my bucket list of things to do here pretty soon. So now you will have to have a gaming PC to do that, but if you're, a lot of people, like I needed a laptop to do some personal stuff on and some work stuff on. So I went ahead and just bought one that would play games too. I just went ahead and killed two birds with one stone type deal, and got one with a good graphics card and good processor and all that in it. And, it's been working pretty good. So, and the computers aren't near as expensive as they used to be. Used to, a good gaming PC could run you $2,000 easy, but now you can get them for around $1,000, even a little cheaper actually, if you catch them at the right time and maybe kind of watch what specs you're looking. Maybe get a 3060 instead of a 4060 or 4070 or whatever. The graphics card maybe go down a little bit, but still have it big enough to where it can handle all the games that are out there. So anyway, that was my view on it. The first year, I've been pretty pleased. There's been enough games come out, spaced out enough to where I've been kind of steadily playing some new stuff here and throughout. I've had a good time with the headset. Like I said, it seems like a good quality headset. So looking forward to the next year, and hopefully they'll keep putting out some. Now they do have some new games announced already, with Metro coming out. There's another game coming out. I can't remember how to say the name. It's not Asgards, but it has Agaronthra. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, that game looked pretty cool. If you know halfway what I'm talking about, you've seen the trailer for the game. But a lot of cool games look like are coming out. So, if you have a PS5 already and you want to get into VR, definitely check it out. It's a good headset. I would recommend it. Gets my 2 thumbs up. And before you do anything else, when you leave here, go watch the Resident Evil scary video I did. I'm telling you, I peed a little. The only downside to some of these darker games where you're in darker environments, I've noticed the social screen output when you make a video, sometimes you can't even hardly see anything on them because it's so dark. I just want to reassure you, if you're playing the game and you have the headset on, it's not that dark in the headset. You can see. So don't let that deter you. In the game, you can actually see a lot better, and especially on the Arizona Sunshine when I did here recently, where I was playing in a dark environment. It was pretty well lit in the headset, but the output on the screen was really, really dark. So I don't know. So anyway, give me your thoughts. What do you think about it? Have you tried it yet? Are you thinking about trying it? Got any questions about it? Leave it down there below. Like I said, I recommend it. That's just me. I'm just a regular guy. I'm not one of these professional reviewers that tears the machine apart and shows you the inside and has 4 people up here all talking about it. I'm just a regular guy who likes playing VR and guitar. I broke a string the other day. That's not good. But anyway, just a regular guy like most of y'all, and that's my take on it. So if give it a shot, holler at me. Peace.